104.9 XFM, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington's pressing the buttons. We're playing some great moments from the last 3 weeks.
And some great records, Steve, from the last 2 weeks.
That's true enough.
Yeah.
We're not actually here today. What are you up to today, Rick?
It's 8 hours earlier, so, this is about 2 o'clock, probably. Mm-hmm. So, it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm still in bed, mate. I'm asleep. In me hotel room.
Now, where are you?
We're in LA.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
City of Angels, Rick.
Yeah.
City of Angels.
Yeah, and so that's what we're doing. We're doing stuff like that. That's why we're not here. We're not here next week either. So next week is the best of this week.
What?
Someone's left one of those little things in here. It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's amazing. What are they called, those things?
I imagine just there, I was thinking of being in the front row at a Morrissey concert and going, can I just play along? They are brilliant.
I don't know what kind of sound that is.
I don't know. It's only used for when Kenneth Williams sees someone undressing.
Yeah.
That's the only time that is used, that noise.
Exactly.
That is brilliant.
But it's like it was specially created for the Carry On films.
Yeah, we need, I don't know what it is, but we need something when I walk in and see someone changing. Well, what about this? There is a light that never goes out by the Smiths. I phoned Karl up in the week, and I said, what are you doing? He went, well, even though it's one of my days off, I'm just doing some research on the web. Found anything that said, yeah, I'm doing science. And then he said, you can get wigs for dogs in Tokyo. That's his scientific fact. And I went, what do you mean? Dogs, if they need a wig? I said, if they need a wig, what? Dogs going bald? And he went, like, this is fine to him. He went, it's a stressful city, Tokyo. The world's alright with Karl. He's always got an explanation. I've only ever seen him confused once. When, in Edinburgh, he looked out of his window one day and he saw a bloke putting a parking ticket on some rubbish.
Yeah.
And that genuinely confused him.
Yeah.
He couldn't work out, could you?
It's a bit weird, isn't it? But
and the woman breastfeeding her 8-year-old child, you didn't like, did you?
I don't like that. But, the what's the name? Animals with wigs. I kind of thought, after I put the phone down to you, I kind of thought about it, thought, yeah, it's a bit daft, that.
Are you sure it's not the ageing pop group?
No.
The Animals?
But when you think, have you ever seen, like, a bald pet?
No.
It's weird.
What do you mean?
Because my mum, we had a cat, we used to get through loads of cats because we lived on a...
Oh, God, it started early today, innit?
What do you mean you got through a lot of cats?
Just because
What
we
were
lived
you
on...
doing?
No,
Running a restaurant?
We lived on...
Oh, God, what do you mean?
No, we lived on, like, a main road.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we used to get through a lot of them. My dad
It was
kept
their
saying,
risk.
you know, stop wasting money, you know, it's not
Stop
good.
wasting money, not wasting cats.
Right, so, anyway, we had this cat that was ill all the time. And,
It's just bag of nerves, probably.
Yeah, malingerer. Yeah, I'm terrified.
I'm going to which house?
Rome. Oh, God, bloody hell. Rome.
Don't let me go to the Pilkingtons.
and it, for some reason, it kept being sick all the time. Right?
Yeah, that is nerves. That's definitely nerves.
So my mum kind of thought, oh, I've had enough of this, and she shaved it.
Whoa. Whoa. Now, I know you're not vets in your family, but what correlation did your mum think there was between it being sick and shaving it?
Because it kept being sick, and it was a pain to wash, because it kept getting
So
caught
she
up.
wanted a dry wipe cat.
So...
Why didn't she just varnish it? What?
It's weird, though.
So now he's cold and sick.
No, but not all of it. She left sort of the back half, but sort of from its waist, sort of.
I love that! Shave it because it's sick on itself!
Yeah. And it was the weirdest looking thing. I mean, normally I like cats. I'm always like giving yours a stroke on the head and that.
Yeah.
As soon as she did that, it was like, oh.
Yeah.
Can't touch it. And then...
So now it's sick, cold and hated.
Yeah.
Karl.
It must have, I mean, the other cats must have been taking the mick out of it constantly. You're just making things worse. Did it get, I'm hoping that it got run over and was put out of its misery.
No, I think it got alright, that one. Or is that the... Yeah, it did get run over. It did.
Oh, God. Oh dear.
How many cats do you say you've got through?
I'd say whilst I was living at home, I mean, it's still on the increase even though I'm not there. So, whilst I was there, probably 5.
God.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
And were you upset each time, or you just got used to it?
It's one of them things, isn't it? Like I've said before, when you first see something, it's a bit of a shock. Do you know what I mean? It's like the Elephant Man or whatever.
Yeah.
First time you see him, it's that sort of, oh, look at that.
Do you remember the first time you saw Steve? No, I'm not being funny. Do you remember the first?
Yeah, but I've said this before. It's always then you get used to how people look, and you don't. No.
I'm gonna burst. You have to play a record.
No, but
because I just see Steve's face.
No, but I've got used to it.
Shut up.
Well, here we are again, XFM on a Saturday. Just gone 1 o'clock, Steve, if I'm very much mistaken. But we're not here as such. We're away again, gallivanting around. We've got to do the special sort of best of again.
Okay.
Which we did a few weeks ago, so this is the best of the last 3 weeks. Which I think is, I think it's the best 3 weeks we've ever had. But I'd like it condensed into 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, some great music as well in there.
Yeah, there'll be some great music, interspersed with fine chat that you've already heard.
Yeah.
Except this bit's new. We've actually, out of the kindness of our heart, we've come in last week.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've done a few clips, just because we felt a bit guilty about shooting off.
Yeah.
And leaving.
Even now, having heard this link, I'm beginning to wonder if it was worth our time.
Yeah. Well, should we play a classic link?
Let's play, what, from the last 3 weeks?
After this is Feeder.
It's just the way I'm feeling.
Well, if you've just tuned in, it's XFM 104.9, you've got that bit right. Ricky Gervais Show with me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
Karl is actually in a little booth. We're not in the studio, you see. This is pre-recorded. We recorded this last week because we're away. And it's sort of like the best of the last 3 weeks, since last time we were away when we put out the best of.
It's a long time since we've had any white van Karl. For those that don't remember this particular hot feature, we basically ask Karl some of the questions that are asked of a white van driver in the Sun. They always have this on Saturday afternoons. Anyway, here's the first one. They're not fascinating, Karl, but I'm just interested on your take, really.
Yeah.
What do you make of Cilla Black quitting Blind Date after her husband sent a message from beyond the grave? Are you familiar with this story?
I didn't know that. What's that?
She went to see a medium, and supposedly her husband passed on information through the medium, which was incredibly vague, but persuaded her to quit live on air.
Well, it's about time, isn't it? If even dead people are saying enough's enough. But I tell you what, though, talking about ghosts and that, do you know how I'm into them?
Yeah.
Right? How weird do you think this is, right?
Well, it's not true. Before you say it, play a record.
No, go on.
Go on.
Right, it's this woman. I don't even know if it's ghost, really. It's just a bit weird.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
There's this woman,
Yeah.
and she's not a woman, she's a kid.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
She's walking down, like, a street in her area. It's a nice day and everything. Everything's normal. She's walking down, and a woman comes up, cycling past, right? The woman on the bike looks at the kid, absolutely terrified, right? Got a really scary face on her.
Yeah.
The kid's thinking, why is she doing that?
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, she thinks nothing of it, goes, I think she was playing in the park or whatever, goes and has a nice day. About 15 years later...
Oh, right, yeah.
She's, I don't know, I think she was going to work, right, on a bike.
She was riding her own bike.
Riding her own bike, cycling down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Looks at the kid. That's the thing that happened, like, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
It's her on the bike looking at her as a kid.
Right. Not another child.
No. So
Right.
it's her, she's seen herself.
Karl? I mean, I don't know where to start.
Firstly, where's this information come from?
But I mean, why do you ever I mean, I don't know what part of that you think can be true. I mean, honest, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. What are you talking about?
Bit weird though, isn't it?
But it's not true.
It didn't happen. Nothing happened like that.
She said it did.
Well,
Who?
then she's wrong.
She said she saw herself.
she saw herself as a kid, didn't she?
Did she carry on riding
and as
Karl?
an adult when she was a kid.
Did she stop and talk to herself, or did she ride on by and think that's a bit weird? There's me as an 8-year-old. I won't stop. I'll be late for work.
yeah. If I'm late again, the boss said he'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, if,
And
you
where
know-
is this information? Did it happen to someone you know?
No,
You overheard it on the bus.
no, it was in the 14 Times.
Ah, right. Well,
Ah,
that's
okay.
the answer.
Good,
We've
okay.
got to the bottom of that.
right, good.
Karl, let me ask you now. Karl, you will be a little bit unnerved about this. Have you seen the film Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
You know what happened there? Well, according to the Sun here, it says scientists are planning to clone mammoths for a theme park. Look at his face. Look at that. He looks like a dog caught in the headlights of a car. He's terrified.
I love Karl.
He sprung to attention
Karl.
there.
Is that the best news you could have?
Man-moths.
Right.
Yeah, man-moths.
I love the
Man-moths.
fact that that's why he was so excited that they bred a man-moth. What is this? Yeah, it's a human being that hides in your wardrobe and eats an entire jacket in a day.
Yeah.
What do you mean man-moths? Mammoths. Mammoth, the big hairy
Have you heard
cow
of a
from the
mammoth?
Ice Age. I mean,
Right.
elephant.
You're not so excited about that, then? You can take or leave bringing back mammoths to life, but a man-moth...
A man-moth is a different matter. Oh, if we'd have never brought that up, he'd have gone and told someone now.
Yeah.
You know, they've bred an half man, half moth.
This
and
is
that's
what
how,
we
that's how
mean.
things start.
This is what we mean when you hear
don't-
these ghost
Are you
stories.
slightly deaf? Is that it? When you hear these stories, is it?
Karl, is English your first language? Are you actually foreign? Is that the thing?
yeah.
Should we
When
speak
we say
slower?
foreign, we mean not of this planet.
Yeah. Should we speak slower? Would that be a help to you?
No, go on. Next
What do you
one.
make of
Do
that?
you think that's good?
Seriously,
Would you
the
think that's
idea
good
of
to bring
bringing
back mammoths?
prehistoric animals.
These giant elephants.
They're slow, aren't they? It's not as if they're going to like get out and run fast and they can't capture them.
They'd probably be a fence, to be honest, Karl. They'd probably be a fence.
No, but
Depends.
but you're asking it as if like, oh, it could all go wrong, but it couldn't, could it?
Well,
Really?
but the point was about Jurassic Park is they thought it wouldn't go wrong. They thought they had it all under
Yeah, but
control.
that was
and they-
Have you learned
dinosaurs.
nothing from Jurassic Park, Karl?
Dinosaurs would say, oh, think about it before you do it. But with a airy elephant, it's not going to.
Not a concern for you. Would you go along to see him? Would you be interested in that?
If it was in the area.
He's great, isn't he? I'd love a queue,
Nothing
right?
impresses
No,
him.
but what I'd like to do is Karl sitting like Yoda in a little cave, and I'd just like to see people like Tony Blair and, you know, Stephen Hawking in a queue, and they go and say, Karl, got a bit of a problem,
Yeah,
and
thinking of cloning a man and a moth.
Yeah.
Problem? Not an issue. No, if I'm in the area, I might cruise around and have a look at it. Otherwise, just don't send it near my clothes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it's just for a second. As the words "man-moth" came into your head, how excited were you? I mean, were you both terrified and excited? For the moment when you thought that they'd cloned a man and a moth.
I pictured
What kind of face did he have? Did he have the moth's head, or was it a man's head?
just a little man head.
Right. What was his face? What did it look like?
He just was like a bit shocked.
Perplexed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like he'd been grafted onto the body of a moth without his consent.
And when he was asleep,
lad.
Yeah, he'd woken up.
he just went in to have a goiter removed,
Yeah.
and they said, we've
He
replaced
woke
your
up with
goiter with the body of a giant moth.
Yeah.
Is that alright, Mr. Jenkins?
So he had the head of a little. Was it a little boy or a man?
Little man,
Right. Okay.
and he's just bumping into a lamp.
You're just bumping into a man.
Karl, if you went into hospital and they'd done something, what's the worst thing they could do, right? What would you rather have done, right? You wake up and you've got lobster claws for hands.
Right.
You wake up and you've got duck's feet. Or you wake up and you've got one horn coming out of your head.
The worst thing,
Yeah.
probably the horn coming out of my head.
Why?
Get in the way.
That'd be useful, wouldn't it, in fights and stuff? And for like parties, people would play
Well, I suppose
quoits.
the lobster claws would also be quite handy there. Oh, that's a wonderful, wonderful clip, and
Yeah.
a great record that preceded or followed it. I'm not sure. But
Oh,
could I make some dedications?
Yeah.
Because last week, just before we had to come in to record this,
Yeah.
I popped out trying to get onto the tube, and I had a nightmare because there were millions of protesters, so-called protesters. Now, a lot of them obviously doing good work. There was one fella, I think you'd have appreciated it, because I know you are very politically active, and I think this guy has really studied hard, and he's realised the best way to make his voice heard on the international political stage is to ride around on a tricycle wearing a jester's hat. He was really shaking up the bloody government.
I wouldn't want to be George W. Bush about now.
Not indeed.
Once he sees that.
Once he sees that guy.
Imagine his aides rushing in and going, George W., look at this guy. Where's that? That's in London, England. Okay, call off the forces.
Is that a large tricycle?
Yeah.
Is he wearing a nappy?
Get me Colin Powell. Why'd you call him Colin, not Colin? It's the way he likes it. Don't about. Just call off the troops. There's a in a jester's hat. Call the troops off.
Just bleep some of those bits.
XFM 104.9 of a Saturday. Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
But we're not here. No, we're away. So this is the best of, and I hope you're enjoying it. We certainly are.
I had some exciting news this week, Karl. You'll be pleased to find out. I'm worried that you might get a little bit jealous, because it's obviously going to impact on your world quite strongly, because I know you think you'd like things to be quite samey. You'd like the status quo to be maintained. You like the fact that in the past, we've had some crosswords, because I remember, what did you think of me when I first walked in? When I first came in on the first day of XFM?
I don't know why you're making a big deal out of it, because I'm just being honest, though. I'm just being honest about a lot of people who see you for the first time sort of go, well, he's a bit weird.
I know that, Steve, that you brought it up, and then you're again.
But I'm sure that wasn't what he said before.
No,
did he say before?
Well,
he's a bit weird.
Yeah, well, he looked at you, and I knew. I could see by the look on his face. You know when you know your kid, and your kid's sort of scared of something, and they go, "Why's your kid?" I goes, "Oh, he doesn't like pigeons or spiders." Right. It was like that when I saw Karl, and I brought you in, and I went, "What do you think of that, Karl?" I could see the look on his face that he was disturbed.
Sure.
And then, as he said, you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah, you get used to it. And you have changed a little bit. Your hair's a bit smarter now, and you've got some nicer glasses and that, I think. Or I might have just got used to it.
Whoa! Don't bring it up, Steve. Don't look at me like that.
So you say that you think some other people in the office thought the same? Do you know that for sure?
Karl.
Did you discuss it?
Karl.
Yeah, I think they do, yeah.
Okay, leave it there then.
But not just in the office, as you walk through the building.
It's worse than you ever thought.
Well, no, it's not worse than I ever thought, because as you well know, Ricky Gervais, what did I do on Thursday morning?
Oh, is this the thing?
For those that perhaps are not of the female persuasion listening, there's a magazine. Apparently, it sells quite well. It's one of the sort of female, kind of issues magazines. I think it's called Company Magazine. It's like your sort of, I guess it's a bit like your Moore or your Vanity Fair or whatever. Anyway, they run every year the 50 most eligible bachelors in Great Britain section. Ding dong, hello. Who's in there this year? In the 50, in the top 50 of the entire country.
And then they vote, and they put them in order and see who's the most eligible bachelor.
But that's 50 people, right? It always annoys me slightly, because bachelor, it kind of seems like a more sophisticated word for loser.
Yeah,
no. Which always sort of unnerves me
slightly. And also they try and do a different 50 every year, so they're getting pretty desperate to get different ones.
No,
because also a lot of people who are sort of like successful, are married, so there's very little to...
No, there's a huge... I don't know if this is international, it could even be international, I'm not sure actually, so I could be up there with the likes of Justin Timberlake, etc. So, Fred Durst...
Yeah.
That sort of person, So anyway, this is what's exciting, right? Although I'm slightly frustrated, because they were telling me that last year, alright, because what happens is the readers of the magazine, they vote for who they think is #1 most eligible bachelor, right? Last year, the prize was a 2-week trip in the Bahamas, okay? This year, I'm rather annoyed, because all I'm gonna win is a moped. That's the prize this year, that's the prize this year, a moped.
Whoa, backtrack.
What?
Sorry? Last year was a 2-week trip to Bahamas, and this year
just a moped. All I'm going to get is a moped.
All you're going to win is a moped.
Yeah,
you've got no chance.
You've got
no chance. Who else is in it? Who else is in it?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Lots of them are people you'd never heard of. I know Duncan from Blue is in this.
So you're second to him at least already. I imagine you're going to come behind the other 49.
No. Because there'll be people voting for me. They get to vote for me.
Yeah, Steve.
They'll see my photo and then they can vote for me.
Yeah, according to he, I was 22nd most sexy man in the world.
I better take that helmet back.
I would. AC/DC.
Brilliant.
You shook me all night long on XFM 104.9. Well, this show is a rockin'.
It is. It is.
Ricky
indeed.
Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Quick query for you. This is from Jay. He's got a problem here. He says, my parents won't let me ditch my studies. He's currently reading modern languages at London University.
Sure.
He wants to follow his dream, but his parents won't let him, of being a dancer. Carl. Worse than that, he says that they're trying to arrange a marriage to a bunch of minging daughters of people they know from good families. He doesn't know what to do, so he's got the arranged marriage coming along, and he's also got, you know, he basically wants to be a dancer. His parents are forcing him into something more practical.
Well, the first thing, right, I don't think
Live your dreams?
the arranged marriage thing is such a bad idea.
Okay.
Because I think too many people go on looks,
Right.
and then you soon get bored of that, and you find out the person who you're knocking about with is actually not your type.
Right.
Why don't you arrange marriages for people?
Well, I'm just saying, right, so I'd say, Jay, go along with that. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
I mean, if they're really ugly, then, you know, don't go along with it, but if they're half bad,
Yeah.
put up with it. That's
Sure.
all right. The dancing,
Brilliant.
right,
That's that solved.
Brilliant.
I wanted to be a dancer. After I did the boxing, right, I joined a dancing thing just near Man United's ground, right, called Twiggies. Went along, I wanted to learn some moves. And
How old were you?
Well, it was when Michael Jackson was, like, pretty big, so about 83, 84, 85, something like that, around there. Wanted to do it. When I went, it was shut, and I'd become like a warehouse for toilet rolls. So in a way, I wonder what would have happened.
Sorry, how is that an anecdote about you going through dancing? You've told me before, you did boxing for a while, you did dancing for a while. You had a true fight in the boxing, you didn't even get in the that's not an imagine if that was a film! This is a boy's dreams of becoming a dancer. Oh, it's shut. Next on. I mean, how is that a story?
Yeah, if that was Billy Elliot, do you think it would have won quite as many awards?
Yeah, brilliant. Footloose, alright?
Yeah.
I'm fed up, they banned it. Let's go, oh, it's shut. Flash dance. First, there was, it's a warehouse. Never mind.
I'm just saying, you know, you'll find something else. I think I got a go-kart after that. I bought a motorised go-kart and kept myself busy with that. So... There's always other
Just
things.
think, Alan Bennett has to sit down and really sweat over his stories.
Yeah.
He just opens his mouth.
You are a living Alan Bennett character.
So that's
So that's solved. Well, Jay, don't worry about that. There's no emotional problems I can foresee if you follow that advice.
So the advice there is do an arranged marriage.
If she's not ugly.
minging,
Yeah.
she's not completely minging.
Yeah.
And don't worry about dancing. Get a go-kart. Cheers.
Great.
XFM 104.9. We're not here. This next clip is one of my favourite clips. Look, it needs no introduction. Here it is. What should we do next?
It's too much.
We do we need them out of the way?
Do we need them out of the way?
Yeah, just
Let's explain it again.
if you're new, I'm sort of on a bit of a mission to find out, you know, we've got a lot of animals and insects in the world and stuff.
Yeah.
Do we need them all?
It still amuses me.
So we've found out we've got to keep jellyfish. We've done octopus. She said we've got to keep them. This week, snails.
Do we need them?
Just doing some research, right? I'm sort of working my way through different creatures and insects and stuff that's on the planet.
Yeah.
Right? And finding out if we need them or not. Right?
Yeah.
Do you know much about snails?
Well, sea snails.
Well, yeah.
Snails in general. Don't know much about snails, land snails. I know a bit about sea snails, like whelks, top shells, that sort of thing.
Would you say they're important?
What sort of sense do you mean by important?
Say if we had to sort of get rid of some animals and insects and that because we're running out of room.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'll tell you what I know about some snails. I don't know if this applies to sea snails as well. I mean, I called you today because a lot of other places are shut.
Yeah.
Right? So, I know they like to eat stamps, apparently. The glue on stamps. They love it, right?
Right.
Apparently a lot of letters and stuff aren't getting to where they're meant to be getting because snails are crawling into letterboxes and eating the stamps. That obviously doesn't apply to the sea ones, but that's a problem they're causing.
All right.
Were you aware of that?
No, I didn't know that.
Bet you're glad you answered the phone today. Right? They love beer.
Beer, yeah, who doesn't?
And also, I don't know if this is right, but I heard that they sleep for 13 years, or can do.
Right, I wouldn't know if they can sleep for 13 years or not, but... I mean, sea snails are pretty important, yeah, they do quite a good job in the sea. They graze on algae and they provide food for other animals. I mean, you can say that about any fish, you know, any animal, why do they exist?
Would you be upset if, you know, someone said, we're getting rid of them?
Oh, yeah.
You would be?
They're an animal, you know, I wouldn't...
Forget being like favouritism and all that I get for them, right? There'll be other things knocking around you can sort of spend your time looking after. You'll still have a job, don't be worrying about that, because I'm not going to get rid of all the fish. Jellyfish need looking after, so you're safe.
Yeah.
But do we need them? Come on, there's loads of people saying, come on, we've got to move on through the animals, and you're holding them up saying, well, I want to keep them.
Well, who's saying we need to... That just sounds a bit crazy to me.
Just imagine. Do you know what I mean? And they would come to you because you work in an aquarium, so they'd be asking for your advice.
Right.
And you're slowing it down.
Well, they asked for my advice and I'm giving it to them, so, you know, that's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, but snails, you know, I mean, like I say, they drink beer and that, you know. What do they do apart from some food for a whelk?
They were around, their descendants were around a lot longer than we have been.
Yeah, they've been around a long time, but what have they done?
Well, they've survived that long, so they must be doing something pretty good.
Well, apparently they sleep for 13 years, so really, even though they've been around for ages...
I think that sounds a bit... I don't think they sleep for 13 years.
Not all of them, just the tired ones. So, snails, do we need them?
Well, yeah, I just think they've got to... Just as, you know, it's not for us to say, do we need them or not, we can't just...
So you think we should keep them?
Yeah, definitely.
Karl, I'm proud of you. That was
getting really quite annoyed.
I know. What did he think he was doing? What? I don't know what you tell these people. I mean, you don't get their permission to play this out, do you? You just don't tell them.
The thing is, right, I sort of told him what it was about, but we won't say who he is or where he works, because it doesn't matter. I just needed to speak to someone who knows.
I know the fact that you were trying to get an answer out of him by suggesting that he would be safe, because he could look after jellyfish if he gave the okay to destroy snails.
He was getting livid, you can tell.
Oh, God. Brilliant. So they've been around a long time, but what have they done?
Well, right, last week when I did Do We Need 'Em, do you know when I called up one of the museums in a science museum?
Yeah, you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I wanted to tell you before when the song was on, but you're so busy listening to it.
Yeah, was I so busy listening to a song I was playing?
Yeah, but we're doing a radio show, aren't we?
Alright, what's your point?
Well, I just wanted to say, she emailed in to say I got her name wrong, so I'm just apologising for that.
What did you call her?
I think I called her Jessica.
What was her name?
I don't know, I've got it on email somewhere.
This is not an apology!
No, I'm
You've
just
got
saying...
it wrong again!
You've not even said her real name! How is that an apology?
Well, I remember, I read the email, so, yeah,
But who are you apologising to?
I think her name's Jackie, I think.
Oh, you've got it wrong again, haven't you?
Well, anyway, and she just said if you want to see dinosaurs and that, go to the museum.
You were complaining about that as well, weren't you? You went to a museum and there was too many dinosaurs. He said you just need 4.
No, well, Steve, have you been to the one in Knightsbridge?
I think so.
This one that I called up, right? It's nice. You go in, you get a good collection of stuff. You walk in, there's 3 or 4 dinosaurs. You've had enough, right? I went into New York, right? Went to the museum there, hundreds of them. You can't move for dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're responsible for them being extinct. There's loads of them. So all I'm saying is, if you want to see a dinosaur, go to the one near Knightsbridge. They've got a nice selection, some old vases and stuff. It's worth going. So
that was great, Karl. Play a record. Well done.
Bit of Amy Man.
Oh, I'm obsessed with this song, Red Vines. It's brilliant.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais show with Steve Merchant. Hello there.
Yep.
And we're not here this week. We're off jetting around the world, so we've pre-recorded these links. The time is currently somewhere between 1 and 3 o'clock.
So a time check there from Steve Merchant.
No problem.
Yeah, and what about this weather? Isn't it warm? Stroke. Edit that, Karl. Cold. Okay, whichever one.
I'm pleased to see that the congestion charge has had some considerable effect. Had no effect.
So just, yeah. Wasn't that great on telly last night, the film? Yeah.
I particularly enjoyed last night's EastEnders, Coronation Street, Brookside.
Okay.
Yeah.
But XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Tell us about this monkey, Karl.
You're gonna love this one, Steve,
Go on.
right? Yeah, so last week we were talking about how, like, a lad left his family because there was problems at home and that. He went and lived in the wood, he got airy, right?
No.
Leave it there, Rick. We haven't got time to go into
Right,
it.
so...
That's what happened.
And that's what happened, he lived with the monkeys, he went airy.
That's
Anyway,
what happened. That's what happened.
looked into some other stuff about, like, airy kids and all that.
Yeah.
Came across this story about a bloke, right, who worked in a zoo,
Oh dear.
right? So,
Trouble's brewing.
loving his job and that, but it's quite a lonely sort of job because you don't see many people, you're just dealing with animals all the time, right? So, anyway, he gets a bit pally with a monkey because it's the closest thing to a human.
Well, that ape is.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't really go that close to apes. It's dangerous.
What do you mean? What type was it? What, do you
Just
mean
let him tell the
Was it
story.
a chimpanzee?
I reckon it was a chimp, yeah. Yeah, it
Oh,
was
you
a
don't
chimp.
even know, so
It was
that's
a
an
chimp.
ape.
It was a chimp.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does
So
it?
he
It's the
gets
story.
pally with him.
Right, so he gets pally with
What,
him.
did they
and
go on
he's-
holiday together?
Well, no, I mean, it starts
On the
off.
pool together.
Starts off just checking each other out and you know, probably sharing lunch and that together.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, this goes on for a while. Is you know, they're getting on well on that, and then after a while, right, the monkey starts sort of imitating him a bit more and sort of walking upright.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Right. So he thinks, oh, that's a bit weird. Anyway, they get on really better and what have you. So he thinks he could live at home with me. This
Yeah.
because we're getting on the storm.
Yeah.
Right. So he takes him home, and before
Is
you
this
know
the
it,
beginning of Beneath the Planet of the Apes? I think it is. I think you've seen this on video.
I'm worried, because he's already imitating him and they're moving in together. I'm thinking it's maybe a bit like single white female. Single white zookeeper.
Oh, brilliant.
right. So
Go on.
anyway, so it's moving in, and it's getting used to sort of the normal human life. It's having a cup of tea in the morning.
Yeah. PG tips.
As a he finishes the day off with
Oh dear.
Finishes the day off with what?
He
with
does,
a
he doesn't
little
have to
brandy.
move a piano at one point, does
He
he?
finishes the day off with a little brandy.
Yeah.
What, he pours himself a wine. Is he wearing a smoking jacket?
You, I'll tell you what, Karl. You're
Listen,
a maniac,
listen,
mate.
no, this is why it attracted me. It's amazing, right? So he's having his brandy and that, loving his life. Next thing you know, he sort of I don't know if he loses it or he gets shaved, but the top half of his body is
Becomes
hairless, right? Apart from his head, right? So he's got a
Right,
nice.
so
got a
it's the
head.
opposite of the kid.
Well,
Yeah.
this is what
well,
I'm saying.
that would happen.
Right?
Well, hang on, but so you don't know if
You
he
don't
was
even
shaved
know.
or if it's
How
an
did
act?
it say? Then the hairless. What?
I'll bring it in for you, the story, and then you
All
can
right, well,
see if
okay,
I've gone
keep
wrong.
going, keep
So
going.
anyway, so
Wow.
so this is going on, and he's having a great life. Then the zookeeper starts getting a bit annoyed because he's having a better life than the zookeeper. The zookeeper's in the zoo.
This is such
So the
rubbish.
zookeeper's still got to do a day's work. The monkey's at home, he's partying,
well,
he's
it
got
gets
his
to a
other
point when he
chipmates
says
round.
there's no point you coming in to the zoo because the whole reason of you being there was because you're being kept there.
Right.
And he didn't want to bring the memories back, so he said, you stay at home. So
You are you're talking such.
Just let him finish.
God, I don't know if I can sit here and listen to this drivel.
Let me. I'm fascinated.
it's
It
nearly
sounds
over anyway,
amazing.
right?
It sounds extraordinary, Karl.
So he's walking up, right? He's having a tea in the morning, finishing the day off with brandy. Gets a bit out of hand. Only tries it on with the zookeeper's wife.
Make him go away, Steve.
How does he do that?
Well, because he's around humans a lot, he becomes a bit of a charmer. And
But what is it that he could do to seduce her? Pick fleas out of her?
he didn't say.
He's
but-
built. He was built.
Yeah, it's well done.
So what about that?
Wait, what do you mean? What about it, Karl? It's obviously not true.
I don't understand how the
I
monkey...
love the fact he becomes a charmer. He's got better taste in brandy,
Exactly.
and he that
What
is-
was it that he was doing that seduced her?
I don't know. Maybe because he was at home more than the zookeeper was.
But what would he be doing, Karl? He's not going to be talking with her. They're not going to be playing like Trivia Pursuit.
Maybe she liked the silent type. He didn't go into that. He just said that's when the trouble started.
Karl, play a record.
Right.
Is that what Suzanne did when she brought you in?
Talking to the sun.
Oasis and Songbird. It's a nice little ditty
It's alright, yeah.
of a
It's not too
Saturday.
bad. Yes, thank you.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. I think we should go straight into it, Karl. I think we should do the competition. There's Karl in the corner.
It seems a little premature.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I
Do you
think
reckon we
so.
save it? It's
Yeah,
so good. We should tease it out of
Well,
them.
it's a big thing.
It's just that I've got absolutely nothing to say.
Sure.
I haven't really.
Well, I mean, like often I know you'll have spoken to Karl in the week. This week, for some reason, I've been speaking to him.
Oh, right.
I spoke briefly to him about Michael Jackson and the documentary.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I thought that was extraordinary.
Amazing,
and I asked
amazing
Karl's
piece of
opinion.
work. Yeah.
And he didn't mention to me the fact that Michael Jackson likes to climb up in trees.
No.
He didn't mention anything about his bizarre relationship with children. He didn't mention anything about his obsessive billionaire spending sprees.
Right.
He didn't mention anything about the mannequins he has in his thing, or the fact that he drives around his sort of 7 hotel suites in Las Vegas in a little kind of old people's scooter. The only thing of note for Karl was he said to me, "Did you notice how big his hands are?"
I'll tell you what, though, I did.
What? Yeah, how are you looking? The man's got like a face that he's had reconstructed. Well, I can't seem to say that. It's libelous.
Yeah,
But,
he hasn't.
He's got
he's had two nose
face.
jobs. Yeah,
And you're
but-
looking at his hands.
But I think it's because you look at him and he looks a bit like there's a bit of androgyny there, but it's sort of like it is quite a petite sort of old lady's face in a way. But then you see these labourers' hands come out. That's always the way with a tranny, isn't it? You know what I mean?
What, you can't accuse him of being a tranny?
No, he's not. No, he's not.
What are you saying?
No, I know
He's
he's not.
got enough issues. Now you're accusing him of being a tranny.
I like him. I thought he came out that brilliant. I thought it was really. I really felt sorry for him. No, I think he cleared up a few things as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was a fascinating piece of work, but I did like the shopping spree. That was great.
Extraordinary, 'cause he's
just
got
going
such
around
bad
just
taste.
pointing. I know it was bad taste, wasn't it? It was like one of those bizarre shops. You know what I mean? There's anything sort of a gift shop, but they're trying to make it look like Ming.
But if
And it's sprayed gold.
If he'd been living in a trailer park, he'd have been ordering, one of those porcelain dolls dressed like a Harley Davidson
I know,
bike
yeah.
rider, or an Elvis commemorative plate. It was the kind of billionaire equivalent of that.
But the hands were a giveaway. It's the same as those sort of
What do you mean the hands
transvestites.
were
Well,
given-
it's like you get
what was it about his hands? I didn't
Well,
even see his
you know when you
hands.
get like a cab driver or something, right? And he decides to turn transvestite about 60, and he goes on Kilroy. Do you know what I mean? It's that way. He's got a twin set of pearls, and he goes, "I've never felt so comfortable." But his hands are still big. He's got a little wig, and he's got the lipstick on, and he's with his teenage kids who are going, "Kill me."
Do you think
But
he's
it's
been having surgery on his hands to make them larger?
bigger? Yeah.
Was that why he was wearing that glove through most of the
Exactly, because he's
edges,
but I think he wants to be a goalkeeper.
Right.
And they said, well, you can't, Michael. You got a big hands.
It would help him climb the trees.
It's right, yeah, and he can play tennis now without a racket.
Yeah. So what
So,
did you make of it, Karl? Were you intrigued?
The Michael Jackson thing,
Oh.
it's, it was alright. But, like, that got a load of attention in the press. But the Trisha programme got nothing.
Okay.
Which, I know,
was that?
like, well, Steve called me up in the week, right? Like 10 o'clock in the morning, I was at work. And he goes,
I should think so at 10 o'clock. I should
So
think
you-
Preparing this show.
most people go to work about 8, 9.
Are you watching Trisha and that? I said, no, what is it? He goes, oh, you'll be loving it, right?
Freaks, was it? Help me, my mum's a freak.
Siamese twins.
Right.
Right, so I couldn't watch it, but he said, oh, it might be on again, because they repeat stuff on ITV2.
Right.
So I had my dinner late, right, instead of having it at like 1 o'clock like I normally do,
Yeah.
I had it at like 2:30,
Yeah.
sat in the office, put the telly on, ITV2, these Siamese twins,
Did it blow your mind?
it was amazing. You know, we talk about a lot of things on the show quite a lot. The Airy Kids crop up a lot.
I was waiting. It's been 10 minutes and you haven't mentioned the hairy kid.
Right, and last week we were talking about Siamese twins, weren't
Yeah.
we? So it was weird that this programme was on, but it was amazing. I mean, what
I
did
think
you
you can't refer to them as Siamese twins. I think they're known as conjoined twins.
Why?
I think Siamese is maybe considered derogatory or as an old antiquated phrase.
Yeah, I think it's because the first famous ones were actually from Siam.
Right, but
and,
anyway.
and that doesn't exist anymore.
No,
But
it's
so-
conjoined, Karl.
Yeah.
Get the phrase right.
But you'd think that if that's happened to you, that wouldn't be that sort of offensive. The names that you must get called.
Right. You think that's the least of your
Siamese
worries?
twins, I'd say, well, that's, yeah.
Now, were you stunned by where they were connected?
Just live with it, we'd say. Right.
Because they were connected, of course, at the forehead.
Oh.
Sort of, which was quite extraordinary.
Well, there was one set of Siamese twins. One had a job and the other one didn't.
That's ludicrous.
Yeah. The other one was unemployed. The other one had a job. She had to go to work. She had to get up at 6 o'clock on her day
I'm
off.
supporting you, literally.
Yeah.
Didn't they get done off the social for sort of...
Yeah, because the other one was signing on. That wasn't a question that Trisha asked. Annoyingly, because I know that much of the audience was thinking that.
There was a few things that didn't crop up.
What questions would you have asked of them? Because what things did you feel weren't mentioned?
I'd love to just watch Karl watching amazing things.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's like early learning thing.
Mouth slightly open.
Yeah,
some
mouth
slight
open
saliva.
at dribble, looking round to see if anyone else has seen it. You know, I hate that. Like when a cat sees a bird land on the balcony.
Exactly. Yeah.
It can't believe it's luck.
I'd probably say, how do you buy her, like, a birthday present?
A surprise gift, yeah.
Because everything's ruined.
Sure.
Right? I'd probably ask,
Yeah.
Well, did you not think it was interesting that one of them had a boyfriend?
Well, that was a bit weird, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
But, what was the other thing that I was thinking when I was watching it? Was thinking if one got into crime and that was sent to prison...
Right.
What would happen? How would you handle that?
It's brilliant. It is brilliant. If a chimp could talk.
And, what was the other one? The other thing was, what did he talk about? Because it's not as if you can say, oh, guess what I did today? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So...
Got this in
Well, if you've just tuned in, it's XFM 104.9, you've got that bit right. Ricky Gervais Show with me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
Karl is actually in a little booth. We're not in the studio, you see. This is pre-recorded. We recorded this last week because we're away. And it's sort of like the best of the last 3 weeks since last time we were away when we put out the best of. Me and Karl went out, right? With me and Jane, Karl and Johnny and Gigi, wasn't it?
Gigi,
Is it important who went?
No.
Okay.
But we're walking down the street. Karl was there, though, and he can back me up on this. We had a curry. We were walking back, and this little funny homeless fella, didn't he?
Mm.
He, I got to tell it before I go, didn't he?
Yes.
He came up to me, right? And he recognised it. And he came up to me and he went, oh! He said, I've just nicked 5 of your DVDs from HMV. And he shook my hand. He was so happy with it. And I went, right, excellent. He went, all I do is I just swing the bag over the top. Like that, when I'm going out. And he had a bag full of DVDs, didn't he? And he was so pleased to tell me that he'd stolen. That great.
He said they're going like hotcakes.
Yeah, he said they're going up, of course they are!
Yeah, you're nicking them.
Yeah. I know, we get paid for them though, don't we?
So not the stolen ones?
Don't we?
No. What do you mean? Did you sign them for him? I know you idiot. What, so, he just nicked 5...
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
And you say he was homeless, was he?
Well, he don't know, maybe.
No.
Surely, how would he have seen the show? He'd
What?
just walked past Curry's one morning.
Dixon's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's any
Seen
idea.
a trailer for it, thought, interesting.
I don't know if he was homeless. I didn't go into his home
Sure.
life.
He
But,
shook his hand, though, and...
but
he went.
he made Karl look smart. Do you know what I mean? So, how does he sell them? Where does he sell them? Does he go up to people and go, do you want an Office DVD? They're not nicked.
Yeah.
4 quid.
Yeah, exactly. Are these stolen? No.
No. They've still got the tags on them.
Well, it's like those people who, you're those cab drivers that you'll meet at sort of 3 in the morning who've just got a car
Yeah.
and just went out with a car.
Yeah.
And just, I'll pick people up and charge them.
Yeah.
I got in one once, I said to him, the guy just pulled up, I said, he said, I was in like East London, going back to North London. I said, yeah, going to Swiss Cottage. He went, sure, hop in. We set off. He went, do you know the way? I said, well, not really, no. I thought you'd know the way. You're in a cabbie. And he went, no, don't really know the way there. I said, have you got an A to Z? He went, no. I thought, well, if you're going to go out just on the, just winging it as a cab driver,
Yeah.
2 things. Take a map and a torch. He didn't have
Yeah.
either. He said, well, I'll probably get to Camden. I said, right, I'll direct you from there. Drove on for about 5 minutes, making conversation. About 5 minutes later, he went, do you know the way to Camden? I thought you knew the way to Camden. I don't really know the way. I thought I did.
Oh.
It was I mean,
Let me out.
You know,
£4.
Exactly. And that's, I don't know who's got that sort of time on their hands, that they just think, it's 3 in the morning, I'm at a loose end. I think I'll go out doing a bit of cabbing.
Wow. Yeah.
Because your dad was a cabbie, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, yeah. Couldn't stand it, but it's good money.
He was he wasn't like a chancer, though.
What was he doing when he put that little Forrest Gump in a weedy bin?
That was part of the cab company thing. They had to do like a charity event once a year, and he did it one year. Never asked him again.
Tell us the story again.
I'd rather not, because we got a few sort of complaints about it.
Why? Why did you get complaints about it?
Because he put a kid in a bin, and it's not the thing to do. So,
but we could use it as a sort of sobering lesson for people.
Yeah, tell it like a, you know, you shouldn't do it.
Nah, yeah, but that's how I did it last time, but people still didn't like it. All the stuff I tell you, we don't take the mickey out of people on purpose.
No.
It's real life, innit? And that goes on in life.
Yeah.
My dad was saying that in hospital, though. Do you know how he was in hospital?
Yeah.
You know, he did some jokes about old people and that, and he said, at the end of the day, if something makes you laugh, it's funny. And if it makes you laugh, you can't help laughing, can you? Do you know what I mean? So, what you meant to do? And laughing's good for you.
Yeah.
So,
but being laughed at isn't as good for you, is it?
No, but there's probably more people laughing at one person, so if you balance it out, there's only one person who's upset and there's a bunch of people laughing. So,
That's genius. Give me an example of that. Give me an example.
Well, for instance, Karl Pilkington as he talks and the people listening.
Yeah, no, give me an example of, like, so, you know...
I can't, because, again, that's what I'm saying. I can't tell you the story, because there might be someone out there who... This person might even be listening and think, I forgot about that and you brought it all back to me now. Yeah. So I'd prefer to leave it, but I think people know.
Why did he put him in the bin in the first place?
Because he was getting out of hand.
What was he doing, though?
You see, I can't explain.
You can. Don't be silly.
I prefer to leave it, honestly.
What was he doing? Was he annoying him?
He was annoying my dad and the other people in the cab.
Right.
And he thought, how can I deal with this before it gets too out of hand?
Yeah.
He pulled over and put the lad in a wheelie bin.
I'm gonna burst.
So we'll leave that.